Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
Times change, and so has Trump. He's gotten more unstable and unhinged.
Biden has been a catastrophe. So I will be voting for Trump.
And scene for the Republican Party and perhaps democracy in America because of soulless, cowardly tools like Nikki Haley.
She's a coward. Absolutely a coward.
Done. Chris, let's start the day with you being wrong as you normally are. Who said he's totally unhinged about Donald Trump?
Snagglepuss.
No! Nikki Haley. This is the
How am I wrong?
easiest Nikki.
How am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong.
I don't think I'm wrong.
I think he was right on that one.
Yeah.
Snagglepuss? Did you say Snagglepuss?
Yes.
No, it's Nikki Haley.
Oh, no.
What?
Well,
Okay. Who said of Donald Trump, if you're going to hit our military, you are not qualified to be president, period? Who said that?
Huckleberry Hound.
No, Nikki Haley. It's the easiest guess the quote ever. Chris, who said, if you mock the service of a combat veteran, you don't deserve a driver's license, let alone to be president of the United States? Who said that?
Ping and Pong the Pandas.
No, Nikki Haley. How easy can it? Okay, I'm going to continue this through the morning, and the answer will always be Nikki Haley.
Was I wrong about Nikki Haley, though? You
said Snagglepuss.
You prefaced this by saying, let's start out with Chris is always wrong. And then you started reading a quote, and I'm like, I was wrong about Nikki Haley. What?
Yes, you're always wrong. All right, let's move on. You know what I was thinking? You know how they always say, whether for weight, you have a weight set point, people lose or gain weight, and they have a same thing with happiness, like extreme good things or bad things happen, and you know people have a happiness set point. That's the only thing I can hope for at this point, is after this Trump nightmare, that we have some sort of set point for normal. I don't know what you guys think. Are we ever going to get back to normal? Like,
Maybe not in our lifetime.
Yeah,
he says so many insane, incendiary, inciting violence, racist, ridiculous things every single day. I just wonder if we're ever going to get back to normal, right? Like, what's normal? What's the new normal going to be? He just said he would get the guy out in Russia. First of all,
in 24
traitor.
hours.
He has and has always been a traitor. Get him out now.
Right.
If Putin's your buddy. It's just like the Reagan, wait till I get in to release the hostages. Yes, thank you.
Both of them.
Oh, but despicable, right? Like, I could get him out in 24 hours. Putin
why
loves me.
don't you?
Not for anyone else, but not till I'm president. I mean, he's created a hostage crisis in America. There's going to be violence if I'm not whatever. I'll do all these good things, but only if you... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You have to, Attorney General has to come out and say, this is boilerplate FBI language, the same language we used when we searched this consensual search of President Biden's residence.
And Mike Pence, both. All of them.
And also, it actually specifically limits the use of force. But of course, FBI agents are armed. What are you, crazy? And also, this is a story about how Chris ruins everything. The Stephanie Miller Show True Story game has officially gotten out of hand. I hope you're happy.
I am
yourself.
happy.
You've taken something beautiful, authentic Steph Head stories and made it into a clown show. You have turned Steph Nation against me. They're all joined in mocking me. My beloved Karen in Chicago, my sweaty church whore. Professionals are playing now, like Paula Poundstone.
I've created great radio.
Yes,
You're welcome.
Why can't you give me the respect? Because what was the story I just told? What did I just... Ask my friend Karen how many times someone on my hike randomly yells, "I love you, Mama." I'm walking down the street the other day to a doctor's appointment, and someone's like, "I love your show." Here's my point to you, Chris, and all of the listeners.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
Stranger.
Why can't
on
you
the street.
treat me the way I would be treated by any stranger on the street? Because I am not one of your fans!
All right. I'm glad everyone thinks they're so funny.
They're very funny.
They are funny.
Yeah. What's the story you told? Are you going to lie? Are you going to say what you just said? You said, guess what just happened? True story. What happened at the gym yesterday?
At the gym yesterday, someone came up to me and said, I understand that people don't recognize you in public, so... And I said, well, it's nice to meet you.
Thank you. Oh, sure, when it's all about you. When it's someone that loves you, it's all different. But look at these stories, which I remember and I know are true. See, now we'll never be able to know what's true and what's not, Chris. David, and Jody, he is added to the fake news in this country. It's the last thing we needed. David in Alabama. I remember these stories. Mama, many years ago I dressed up as Road Flare Mary for Halloween while I was handing out candy to the kids. One of them asked me who I was supposed to be. I responded in my best rough voice, I'm Road Flare Mary. One of the kids asked me who that was, and the parent standing in the background said, she's a mean old lady from Chicago. That was the best Halloween ever. More recently, I was getting my COVID booster. I remember this story. And told the pharmacist I was there for my funky cold Moderna. Even though he was wearing a face mask, I could tell he was smiling, and he said a fellow Steph head. This happened in Troy, Alabama. You have fans everywhere, and Chris is just wrong. Here's another true story. See? Heather in Tucson. Dear Steph, I thought you'd appreciate this Reddit interaction I just had with another sexy liberal in the wild. Please tell Chris, and unfortunately Jody in this case. You've enlisted. You know what? You're like an abusive spouse. You've turned all my loved ones against me. You've isolated me.
I'm gaslighting you. Totally gaslighting you.
He's wrong. We do bump into each other for real occasionally. Quick Like a Bunny said, you'd be cranky too if you had sporks for feet and looked like Barney Rubble in a dress. I said, tell me you're a Steph head, LOL. Quick Like a Bunny said, ha, they'll never believe us. Go yell ashwagandha from the next aisle. All right. And now I'm gonna encourage it by reading out everybody's
creative writing,
emails and tweets. Right, encourage this.
Yeah.
This is
mockery of my career. My life's work. I'm working my ass off, Jody, for getting up at ass o'clock for 11 billion years.
11 billion. Our listeners are creative.
Mike in Montana. I was at the Bark Park telling my wife about Thom Selleck whining, and she said he should get a reverse mortgage for that ranch. The girl interrupted and said to my wife, Are you Stephanie Miller? Okay. All right. Oh, please. Oh, God, I have a lot to get to this morning. Devon in Minneapolis. I was rushing to my gate on one of the moving walkways at the Minneapolis airport. When the walkway ended, I stepped off the belt onto solid ground again. Then I heard a recorded voice from the ceiling speaker, caution, the moving walkway is ending, to which I blurted out, now a warning? That's when a woman on the walkway going the opposite direction called over her shoulder, are you a Stephanie Miller fan? Would you like me to turn to Twitter?
Sure, why not?
Why not?
That's cesspool.
Brother Junior. True story. I was watching a film crew interviewing someone about the Trump trial in Manhattan. When I heard the person being interviewed mention Lena Haba's name, I called out, bless you, and the camera person leaned over to ask if I was a Stephanie Miller fan. I replied, yes, I am. Okay. Yeah, it's just going to take all morning to get through these. California Mama Bear says, guess what? Me and my family went camping recently. It was so much fun. At least until we got a big scare. We woke up to a bear growling. We were yelling for the bear to stop, and luckily he did. Then he said, do you listen to the Stephanie Miller Show? Hashtag alternative facts. Okay.
Bear! Stop that! Stop that, bear! Bear!
Really? And you would think this is an amateur game and that, professionals can't play. But of course Paula Poundstone had to get in on this. Dear Stephanie Miller Show, during my gynecological exam, the doctor said, there's a tumbleweed in there. I said, are you a Stephanie Miller listener? She said, no. Jesus, is that a rusty old harmonica too? I shouldn't be laughing because I'm encouraging
you. Are encouraging us.
Can I just say
you didn't have to read
we've never
them.
gotten so much reaction to anything I've done in my 11 billion years in radio, except people don't want to join in mocking me. Scooter cans. I was in line at the pharmacy, and the clerk asked my birth date. I asked her if she wanted my regular birth date or my Carol Burnett birth date. She said, "Oh, are you a Stephanie Miller Show listener?"
Scooter cans goes way back to Era America days.
Oh my God. Okay. Mac says story time. Oh God. The other day I was in the novelty store shopping for fart machines when someone came up to me with tears in their eyes and asked how old I was. I replied 35. They asked if I was a fan of the Stephanie Miller Show.
You
take
wanted
forever.
me to print those.
Yeah.
All right. Shalon says, very disappointed that during your diatribe this morning about how Chris ruins everything, that you failed to mention how I was in line with someone whose middle name was Louise, and I asked if they were a fan of the Stephanie Miller Show, and they were. What are the chances? Oh, Kevin in Chicago. Really? Hilarious? Really? A2? Hilarious gay? You'll never guess what happened to me this morning. I walked into the Verizon store, and I said I'd like to save a lot of money on my phone system. What was their reply? Sure, right this way. Not one mention of the Stephanie Miller Show, so I went to T-Mobile instead. Okay, maybe I'll do one more here. For God's sakes. Robert Myers tweets, hang on. I was paying my respects to a friend in a cemetery.
Uh-oh.
Started humming Walking on Sunshine while looking for his grave. A corpse came out of the ground and said, you must be a Stephanie Miller fan.
Great. You caused the zombie apocalypse now.
Exactly.
Great.
Oh, my God. Really? All the beloveds.
Uh-huh.
Sue in Rockville, you've turned Sue in Rockville against me. True story. See, now Paula Poundstone stole her act. I was in stirrups at my gynecologist's office after getting my annual pap smear. As he began, he looked inside me, exclaimed with tears in his eyes, "Why, Sue, are you a Stephanie Miller fan? Or maybe not." All right, Sue. Let's
Nice
not think
beaver.
about what's in Mima's. Okay. All right. I don't know. Okay, hang on. Hold, please. I'll do one. Oh, sweaty church whore. Thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks a lot. Lucretia tweets, I want to say this may have happened yesterday when I was at the grocery store, but when I picked out a bag of chips and as I was reading the nutrition facts, I said out loud, this is a big bag of trans fats. Someone whispered in my ear, are you a Stephanie Miller fan? Oh, God. This is another last one is a dead person one again. Okay, Michael tweets, Mama, I was at my grandma's funeral and the priest came up prior to services and asked me how she died, and I said she died mad. He looked at me quizzically and said, dead Steph head? I smiled and replied, for 11 billion years, and then she died. Hashtag true story. Okay. All right. Has everyone had their fun?
Yes.
Everything. Ruined everything.
You're welcome.
How else can we survive this Trump? I'm going to have to read some more true stories to
Yes.
calm myself. Fine. Kelly.
Stephanie's true Hollywood story.
Kelly tweets, I was having problems with my cell phone at work and finally just dropped it on my desk and said, why won't this damn phone connect? And the guy in the next cubicle said, are you a Stephanie Miller Show fan? That's a joke about my
Yeah, speaking of that, it looks like you
phone
might need
system.
Saving
to,
money.
Yeah, you might need to restart it.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Oh, Deborah, this one I know is true. This is, says, yeah, true story. Going back to Jim Ward, he was doing his Larry Craig SNL synchronized swimming bit. I remember that.
Yeah.
I was in a 7-foot pit digging area, egress window wells,
Oh, yeah.
laughing like a lunatic from the pit. I alerted the guy delivering flyers that I wasn't nuts, but I was listening to the Stephanie Miller Show. He was too.
Oh.
I remember that. Is that okay? Because it's a Jim Ward love letter, not about me. Okay.
Is there more?
Cram West tweets, I'm a UN weapons inspector.
Oh, okay.
And while I was in North Korea inspecting their Taepodong 2 missiles, I said to my partner, their rocket is so big. I got a tap on the shoulder, turned around, and there was Kim Jong-il. He asked if I was a Stephanie Miller Show fan. All right, one last one, and I'm not even done half of them. Diesel Hampton tweets, I was recently getting grocery at the local Publix store here in Atlanta when a woman walked up to me and asked me if I'd heard the good news. I asked her what the good news was. With tears in her eyes, she said, the Stephanie Miller Show is on Sirius XM.
You are invited to Stephanie Miller's Sexy Liberal Save the World Tour. It's the political comedy event of the year, and it's coming to a city near you. Join Stephanie Miller, the queen of progressive talk radio, along with Hal Sparks, John Fugelsang, and the comedy duo Frangela, mocking all the fascists and trolls for a tour that is hilarious, inspiring, and deeply offensive to just the right people. It's an all-new tour with all-new guests and a side-splitting evening of stand-up. Stephanie Miller's Sexy Liberal Save the World Tour.